Hi guys, I'm Miss Danielle,
And I'm Miss Jess.
and today we are going to learn about modifications and adaptations to the environment. That being said, by the end of this lesson, you guys will be able to identify and describe examples of modifications and adaptations.
And you guys are going to examine how human activities and technology have altered the environment and our communities from around the world.
So think about this. So I want to start by saying that every blue slide that you see from now on, I am going to read the questions, and you'll see right here at the bottom there's going to be a Google Forms link. So you guys are going to pause your screen, you're going to click on the link, answer the questions, and we are going to read the questions and discuss them a little bit more in detail. So Jess, what do you think the word modification means?
When I think of the word modifications, I think of the word change.
I like that.
So, Miss Mevick, what are some modifications or changes that humans have made to the environment in order to meet their needs?
I think some changes, well, I don't know. That's a hard one.
That is kind of tricky. Luckily, in this lesson, we'll be talking about different modifications that humans make to meet their needs. Do you know what your environment is?
My environment, I would say, is like what's around us, what affects us, nature, the outside.
So an example of a modification to the environment that humans made is deforestation. So on the picture to your left, under before, you can see that there's a bunch of trees, pretty green trees, and on the picture to the right, under after, the trees are chopped down. So this is an example of what humans did in order to meet their needs. They needed either wood for fire, they needed that land for shelter, and they did this at the cost of the environment.
So some positive effects for humans that happened for deforestations was land to farm that we might have needed it for, or building new homes or businesses. But at the expense, the negative effects, the trees provided us oxygen, and that went into our atmosphere. So there's serious concern about cutting down the world's remaining forests and our CO2 just going into our atmosphere.
And remember, guys, humans and animals need oxygen to live and survive. So another modification that humans have made to their environment are dams. Dams is a wall built across a river to control the flow of water. So if you look in the picture to your right, you can see the picture that says then, and you can see the stream, it's very thin. And then if you look to the picture to your right that says now, you'll see the overfill of water on the side that the dam is set up to block the water flow.
So now let's look at some positive and negative effects to dams. So some positive effects is that it can save thousands of lives by preventing floods and making water available when it's needed. And then some negative effects is that it takes the water away from other areas and then causes buildup on the other side of the dam.
Okay, so on this slide we have provided a video for you guys. We're not going to watch it right now, but if you guys quite aren't understanding adaptations or modification, this is just another explanation of it using a different example.
Okay guys, so now we're at another what do you think slide that's blue. You guys know what to do. So after we're done reading the questions to you, again, you're going to click right here on this link. You're going to go to the Google Forms, answer the questions, and Miss Jess is going to take it away.
All right, so the first question is, what do you think the word adaptation means? And then the next question is, what are some adaptations humans have made to their environment to meet their needs? Okay guys, so now we're going to shift our minds from modifications to adaptations. So adaptations is making changes to yourself or your environment to meet your needs. So if we look at our picture to the left, we see winter in Africa, and you can see that the kids have less clothes on and they're doing school outside, it looks like. And then the picture to your right, which is winter in Boston, Massachusetts, where you guys are from, and you know this from firsthand experience, you guys have to wear heavy, warm clothes in the winter to keep your bodies warm, where the children in Africa wear less clothing to keep their body cool. So another example of adaptation would be when humans build roads or canals to transfer transport items or get around to places that they need to go. So our picture to our left is Venice, Italy, and their environment provided them with water. So they needed to make canals so that they could transport materials or items or goods and to get to places like work or to the grocery store. And your picture to your right, Boston, Massachusetts, our environment provided us with land, so we were able to build roads on those lands to get around and transport.
Okay, guys, we're at another blue slide. So it's another what do you think slide. So you already know what to do. So after I read this question, pause the screen and go back to your Google Forms. So how do you think advancements in technology, industry, and science plays a part in altering the environment? What has technology done for us? Well, advancements in technology have allowed humans to build factories or build your school. It's also provided you guys with the bus that you drive that's a gas vehicle. And it's created renewable energy like the windmills. I don't know if you've seen them. But yeah.
So now let's talk about how humans have used technology to cause a negative impact on the environment. So although technology makes humans' lives easier, it also has some negative consequences on our environment because it causes pollution.
Do you know what pollution is? What do you think pollution is?
I do know what pollution is. Pollution is when something harmful or poisonous affects our environment.
What do you think the three major types of pollution are? One type of pollution is air pollution. One example of air pollution is car pollution. As you can see in the picture right here, these cars are giving off CO2, which is carbon dioxide, which is not good to breathe in at all. And this you'll usually see in like a busy area, busy town, cities. And if you look to the right, you see a coal factory that's in Boston, and right here where it just looks like smoke, or people might say vapor. It's really just more CO2 going into our air, which is not good to be breathing in. But did you know some of the highest levels of air pollution that Boston receives are actually from polluting factories hundreds of miles away?
Okay, so the second type of major pollution is water pollution. And water pollution is the pollution of bodies of water such as lakes, rivers, and oceans. So in the middle of the screen, the picture is of Charles River, which is in Boston, Massachusetts. Maybe you guys have seen it. It doesn't look like this now, but this is what it used to look like due to factories and industrial waste running off into the river. There also looks like there's a lot of garbage that people might be throwing in there. And that's what happens when it hits the water. That's what it looks like.
Okay, guys, so the last major type of pollution is land pollution. Have you ever seen garbage on the side of the road? This is an example of land pollution. Another example would be landfills, where your garbage goes. Or have you ever heard about fertilizers and pesticides that you might use in your soil when you're planting? Well, that is bad for our soil because they're human-made chemicals that mix into it, and that runoff then ends up in our water. Okay, hey, Miss Jess, can you think of any actions humans take to protect the environment?
I can think of a lot of actions humans have taken to protect the environment. One would be the volunteer and cleanup crews. If you think about the picture we saw earlier of the Charles River, that no longer looks like that because of cleanup crews. People volunteer to clean up that river to make it cleaner and less water pollution. Yeah, less polluted. Another example of actions humans take is when they walk or ride their bike to places that that are close, instead of taking a car. Or even carpooling. Even if you guys are going to the same place, drive together instead of starting two cars. Another example would be maybe shopping secondhand, buying stuff at thrift stores or donating stuff at thrift stores.
Or using the renewable bags.
Yeah,
or the reusable bags, just like these ones that we are seeing in our stores now. Okay, guys, so now it's your job to have fun with this little hands-on activity. You guys are going to be creating your own Save the Environment poster. This poster will include different actions humans should and can take to save the environment or our Earth.
And on this slide, there are examples of posters that have been made in the past. And me and Miss Mevick also made a poster for our Save the Environment. And in the middle of the poster, we have our Earth, because it's very important. We're trying to save our Earth. And we have reusable bags, because you guys are starting to see those in the grocery store more, and it's replacing the plastic bags.
You'll see those plastic bags, they usually end up in our water, so with the runoff. So that's why we're trying to eliminate it with something that's more a little bit biodegradable or something that you're gonna bring inside.
Yep, and then the next one is our renewable energy, and we chose windmills, even though there are multiple types of renewable energy like solar panels. You guys might see these in large fields. Our next one is, it says don't cut down the trees, and we saw that in the PowerPoint earlier, the deforestation, how that affects our environment. And then the next one,
we chose to do a LED light bulb. So an LED light bulb is a little bit different than a regular light bulb. It's saving energy, and it doesn't have the chemicals inside right here that if the light bulb breaks, it goes right into our air and pollutes our air.
So these posters, I know they don't, we're going to hang them up. We're going to try to hang them up in the school or in the community to make our community aware. I know that doesn't feel like you're doing much to save the environment, but even making sure that your community is aware of what they're doing to the environment and how they can help the environment is doing a lot. Okay, guys, so this is our last slide to the PowerPoint. We've provided articles for you guys, and one is about steam engines, and the other one is about adaptation to the environment, and another one is about renewable energy. So if you guys are interested in that and you want to learn more about how it affects your environment, go ahead and check those out, but you do not have to.